Have you ever thought about what would happen if your loved one passed away without life insurance? Well, today we're going to be talking about 5 questions that you should ask your loved one pertaining to their life insurance. So stay tuned. You might be enlightened.
I want to come on real quick. I promise you I won't be long, but I do want to share with you, some information. So I know that there's going to be some people that's going to watch this live, and as I do it, and that's great. And there's going to be some people that's going to watch the replay, and that's great as well. But regardless, if you're watching this live with me, welcome. Or if you're going to be watching the replay, I want you to do, one simple thing. I want you to tag somebody. I want you to share somebody. I don't want you to just do it randomly. I want you to do it very intentful. I want you to think about somebody that you're close to, and I want you to think about if something was to happen to that person, and you were and you have to take care of maybe their finances, maybe handling the funeral, is going to fall upon you, or someone that's close to you and your family. Maybe you're going to be that person that's going to have to, step up and financially and take care of this situation. Okay, so for you guys who have been through a loss. You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about when I get through with these questions. Okay, they're gonna be real simple. Okay, but let me tell you why we're doing this. Okay, see, as an insurance agent, licensed agent, I get a lot of phone calls, and I get a lot of emails and texts, and all of those levels of communication. And the one that I hate the most is the ones that's asking questions about their loved one. Maybe it's mama, maybe it's daddy, maybe it's grandmama or granddaddy, or my favorite aunt or uncle, whatever the case may be. It could be a sister or brother, but I get that phone call, and it always starts out the same way. It's something similar to, hey, what if a person had blah blah blah? Can they still get insurance? And I got to the point now where I already know where this is going. I already know what's happening. And you find out that person is literally in the hospital at that time, dying from that situation. So guys, listen up. I want you to understand that there is a such thing as buying life insurance too late. Hey Tia, there is a such thing as buying life insurance too late. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is a such thing. I want you to understand that. Listen, guys, listen. If we can get our loved ones, if we can get insurance on our loved ones while they in the sick bed, and the doctor said, hey, there's nothing else we can do. If we can buy insurance at that time, and I don't want to be insensitive, because I understand the pain, I understand what's going on, but I gotta be raw and real with you, because I get this phone call too often, and I decided today that I'm gonna address it. Okay, but if we was all able to do that, then man, we'll be so rich. Man, we'll have so much money, because all we have to do is just wait until one of our loved ones, get to the sick bed. Then we go in and we buy that $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. It doesn't matter, because all is all I got to make is one payment, and by the time the next payment come around, they'll be dead. I don't want to seem insensitive, but I really got to speak the truth today. Listen, and I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable about this, but I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you to feel uncomfortable enough to where that you would tag somebody, you'll share this post and say, listen, maybe you don't want to go directly to uncle and mama or granddad or Or maybe you don't want to go directly to your sister and brother and say, hey, you know, let's talk about your life insurance. Maybe you don't want to do that, but maybe you can tag them in this video, okay? And just get just get something going. If you don't want to ask them, man, I would love to ask them this question. So I'm gonna jump into this thing. The first question that you want to ask that loved one, that one that if something was to happen to them, there's a possibility that the financial burden is going to fall on you. You want to ask that. You want to ask that family member, that loved one, do you simply have life insurance? I'm not even going to go into, you know, which one is which in life insurance is good and what is bad. You know, that's a conversation for another day. But what I need you to understand is that the first thing that you need to do is ask that family member, do you have it? Do you understand? Do you know how many people think their family members have life insurance and they don't? And listen, while we're on the subject, don't look at Uncle Phil. Don't look at Uncle Phil and say, you know, hey, Uncle Phil is well off. I know they got it. All you got to do is look at all these celebrities, these people making millions and millions of dollars, and then we find out even those people didn't have life insurance. So don't you look at Uncle Phil and say, I know Uncle Phil got life insurance, Aunt Viv got life insurance. Why? Because they well off. Guys, I'm telling you, listen, trust me. I've been in some of the biggest, some of the prettiest neighborhoods, you know, with you know, some of the fanciest cars in the driveway. And then I get in there and either I find out that they have no life insurance or they are grossly underinsured. So the first thing you want to do is ask them just flat out, do you have life insurance? Listen, guy, hey, listen, cousin, listen, best friend. If something happened to you and you got those kids, hey, I'm going to feel responsible. I need to know, do you have life insurance? Then you want to know the second question is, well, who is your agent? Man, you got to ask that question. Man, millions and millions of dollars are becoming, they are unclaimed. Why? Because people don't know how to start the process. They don't know who the agent is, so that money just sits over there. It just sits over there in the insurance company. Man, that wasn't what the client wanted. Man, they wanted that money to go to the loved one. But listen, if you have life insurance, please don't keep that a secret. Because if you're the only person that knows about it, how in the world will your loved one be able to go out and handle your wishes if they don't even know what agent to call? Guys, I really need you to understand this. See, I'm not trying to be a bearer of bad news. I'm not trying to, you know, mess up your day. I'm not trying to do that. But what I'm trying to do is save you for some discomfort that is guaranteed that's going to come. I guarantee you it's going to come simply because you didn't ask the question. So you need to know, do they have life insurance? And then you need to know who's your agent. And then the third thing I want you to ask them is say, listen, where's your policy? Where is your policy? Where do you keep it? Is it up under your mattress? Is it in the attic somewhere? Do you know how many hours and hours and sometimes successful, but oftentimes unsuccessful people going around tearing up the house, man, just looking for the policy. Don't do that. But I'm charging you. It's your responsibility to ask that question. You say, Eric, but what if they don't tell me? Then you need to ask again. You need to ask again because you don't have time. It's too much other stuff for you to be doing than sitting up here looking around for a life insurance policy. But you say, well, I know who the agent is. Man, that's great. But there's a such thing as the agent passing away. There's a such thing as an agent not working for that company anymore. So you can call the agent and you say, hey, you know, my sister, my brother, my cousin, my uncle got life insurance with you. And they say, hey, he don't even work here no more. You need to have something in your hand. You need to have, here's my proof. Man, I know they had life insurance policy. I got it right here. I hold the policy in my hand. And that's what I'm talking about. These are simple questions that over my 11 years of being a licensed producer, these are some questions that, man, I wish I could have handled these beforehand. I wish I could have took care of this, but this is me, Eric, going before it and say, listen, we're going to see if we can fix some things, but I'm going to need your help. So I'm going to need you to be able to share this with somebody, and I need you to be able to say, listen, or tag them in and say, listen, I'm going to tag you into this post, and then, and you're going to know why I did it. Man, we got the fourth question that we're going to ask. The first one is, do you have life insurance? The second one is, who's your agent? Third one is, where's your policy? And now the fourth one is, are you properly covered? See, this is what I need you to understand. I need you to understand that that if you allow somebody just to say, yeah, I have life insurance, and you let that be the end of the questions. If you let that be the end, you say, okay, they good because they got life insurance. Guys, listen, I found out the hard way. I done seen this thing. I done seen the few things. And I'm telling you, just because they answer, hey, that life insurance can be an accidental life policy that they got at their work. That means pretty much nothing. Maybe 2,000. Hey, I filled out a credit card form and they said I had life insurance through my credit card company. That turns out to be $2,000, and who's going to be claiming on that? Because you don't know nothing about that credit card life insurance. You got to ask these questions because some people really think that that's going to be what they need. Okay, and then number 5. You got to ask them, especially your elderly your elderly family members. You got to ask them, have they compensated for inflation? It kind of goes back to, are they properly covered? But I want you to understand that even when I look at this and I think about the elderly family, I'm looking at the fact that they could have bought their policy, 40, 50, 60 years ago. And if they was only thinking about burial, then they could say, go back, 50, 60 years ago, and they say, well, we could get properly buried for, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But then we come over here and we over in the 20th century, and then all of a sudden that same burial is $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 to properly bury your loved one. Guys, that's why you have to ask that question. You want to know, are they properly covered? But have you sat down with your agent and have you ran the numbers? Because maybe this policy was good when you purchased it, but when was the last time you did a policy update? When was the last time you sat down with your agent and just said, what, maybe it's some things I need to adjust in my policy? You have to make sure that they ask that question. Another question that I'm going to add in, because I got some bonus things, is that many of you have policies where you can borrow from it. I'm not going to get into that about right and wrong, because that's a lie for another day. But what I want you to understand is that because it goes along with these questions, if you ask your loved one, do they have insurance, they can say, yes, I do. They can have the type of insurance that you borrowed from, and they could have borrowed money for, I don't know, emergency came up. That's not none of my business. My business is to make sure that I ain't talking about the policy owner. I'm not talking about the primary. I ain't talking about nothing. I'm talking about you, family member, that it's going to fall on you. I'm sick and tired of it happening to you. Because you assume that just because you took care of your business, everybody else is taking care of their business, and it's not true. So it's up to you to ask that question. So somebody could have a policy and they say, yes, I have a policy, but just to find out that they borrowed money from that policy and now that policy is ate up because they never paid it back. And I say it's your fault because you should have asked them, you know, hey, have you borrowed from that policy? Do you have one of those policies that you can borrow from? Have you borrowed from it? See, although all of this go hand in hand, you got to ask those questions. Okay? I hope y'all getting it. So I got some I got 2 bonus things I want to talk about, and then then I'm going to be done. And I hope this is making sense to you guys. I really do. But this is my bonus part. This I'm not even charging you for this one. Okay, I'm not charging you for this. But here's the bonus. Who will take care? Who's going to take care of your underage kid? So I need you to ask that question. See, you got that sister, that brother, you got somebody in your family, your best cousin, your favorite cousin, your first cousin, somebody in your family got some young kids that if something was to happen to them, you know, they either gonna go to the state or they're gonna go to a family member. And I know if you watching this video that I know that you care about your loved one. I know that's why you still here at this point, because you care enough. So here's the deal. You're gonna have to ask that question. Yep. Who's gonna take care of these babies if something was to happen to you? Who's gonna take care of them? What's your plan? Because you don't need to be waiting until that family member, that close friend pass away, and then all of a sudden everybody wondering what's gonna happen. And if the parent had thought to tell you and say, hey, if something was to happen to me, then I want you to take care of my babies. If they didn't do that, then you need to ask them the question. And then, if they say, well, hey, I want you to do it, then you need to have them, we need to get this in writing. We need to get this all done. There's a such thing as called a living will. And so it's some things that you need to just get laid out, and you need to say, hey, if this is your plan for your money and for your kids and for your assets, then we need to sit down and have this thing written out on paper, because I don't want to fight nobody that said that, well, she told me the same thing. We don't want to do that. And then that brings me to my second bonus question. Do your policy include child support for the caregiver if you were to die today? I want you to understand that. The question that you're asking, good friend, the question is simply this. If something was to happen to you, and you was going to be taking care of those babies, then you need to know that does that policy include enough not only for the caretaking of the babies, but the actual caretaker that's going to be taking care of the baby. See, child support can't just end when the parent passes away. If you got a 5-year-old son or daughter, or that, and you pass away, then understand this, guys. As much as they love your child, and they really do, you would not want them to be the caregiver if they did not love and respect and all that with your child. Okay, now here's the deal. But it's gonna be a burden. Okay, I'm not saying that it's gonna be a bad burden. I'm not saying that it's gonna be something that they're gonna run from. Yeah, they're gonna do the best they can. But guys, wouldn't it make sense for you to compensate or add in, a plan, provisions for, hey, just thinking like this. If something was to happen to me today, I'm gonna want this person to take care of my babies, and I'm going to leave them this amount of money, to help take care of my baby, and until my baby reaches a certain age. As simple as that. Okay. So anyway, guys, listen. I'm going to jump off here. I'm not sure how long I've been on, but I hope it wasn't too long. You know, listen, it could have been boring, it could have been all of that, but I know the information is good. I know the information was good. I know that it was needed. I know that much. Okay, I know that you needed to hear it. Sometimes medicine tastes nasty, but it's good for you. Okay, so my name is Eric Kirk, and I am a licensed insurance producer for 11 years. If you listen, this is not to promote my business, but I'll be crazy if I didn't tell you that I would love to be your agent. More importantly, let me just say this. I believe you should call me, okay? But I also believe that if for whatever reason you feel like that you want to go a different route, you don't hesitate, okay? You pick up that phone call today, and you start asking those questions today. And if that loved one needs to talk to an agent, man, y'all find the closest one, to you, the one, how you want to do it. You just find you somebody that can help you, because tomorrow is not promised. People are leaving here way too fast. There is a such thing as COVID. It's real, okay, and it's attacking everybody. Okay, it hadn't went nowhere. Okay, people are not being vaccinated. That's another story. But guys, it's real. And before it wasn't like before COVID. People weren't dying. People was dying before COVID. So we just got this one name that we can put on that's doing it in mass numbers. But guys, we were dying in mass numbers before we even heard of COVID. Okay, the truth is, it's not about you dying. It's about the plan that you have when you die or before you die. That's what we're talking about today. Get a plan. So my name is Eric Kirk. You can inbox me on Messenger, okay, and I'll get back with you, and we can if all we need to do is just talk about your current plan if you want to make sure that you're properly protected, then we want to do that. If your agent that you have now haven't talked about your income protection plan, then I'm gonna tell you already you're under covered, okay? And we need to talk, because you need a income protection plan. And guess what, guys? I have the plan just for you. Okay? Thank you, and I'll see you on the next episode.